Three, two, one. What is up, everybody? You are listening. You are watching to the Constant Elevation podcast. I am your host, Gabe Rock. Another week, another road trip TDY thing. So another random hotel room background. Yes, it's the second week in a row where I'm on the road. I was able to go back home for a little bit this weekend, but then it was a quick turnaround. And next week, luckily, I'll be back home for the week. And then actually for the final week of August, I'm actually going to be heading out to DeFitic down there in Montgomery, Alabama. So for my fellow cyber teammates, we're going to be heading down there. Looking forward to seeing you all. It's always going to be a good time there. I'm looking forward to linking up with some of our senior leaders, seeing where this Air Force cyber thing is going for us. Excited to see if we're going to see Lieutenant General Hensley, maybe make some key remarks as our brand new 16th Air Force commander, and just seeing how we're going to get after what the Air Force needs us to do. So looking forward to that trip. Even going to Alabama, it is what it is. I've been there before. And I'm also linking up with some old teammates as well. So probably going to get some CrossFit in there as usual. Speaking of CrossFit, wanted to send out my condolences and shock, really, to the Dukic family. If you weren't tracking at this year's 2024 CrossFit Games, unfortunately, an athlete passed away during the very first event. It was a run-swim event, and he drowned. And so it looks like there's going to be some investigation going on and seeing where it is. It was trippy. When I was TDY last week, I was looking forward to going back to my hotel room and watching some of the event coverage. And all of a sudden I was like, what is happening here? I saw lots of messages being posted. And I think for the CrossFit community, this is definitely a difficult, challenging time. I think there's a lot of anger, a lot of sadness, a lot of confusion, and just wanting to, for the right people to be held accountable. And I understand that piece, but you have to offer I also believe we need to offer some grace to the immediate family. I've been in the shoes where unfortunate news and the death of somebody, you have to really notify next of kin. And there's a very deliberate method of why information needs to get out in a certain time frame or in a certain manner. People should be notified in a certain sequence, I should say. So, everybody was just kind of yelling, why aren't they yelling his name or, sharing all the things going on. There's an active investigation, and I'm confident that the right adjustments can and will be made. I just hope that for everybody involved, that you just find some peace with each other right now. You see a lot of athletes just saying, just go out and hug someone, tell them that you love them, just be grateful that they're here, because you never know when tragedy could strike. So definitely want to send out my positive vibes out to the Dukic family and the rest of the CrossFit community. All right. So this week, so far, it's been an awesome experience serving as group commander. I've said before, I'm surrounded by a lot of strong squad commanders who know how to do their job, and I can offer my coaching and advice. But I'm very excited to see them getting after and leading their airmen in their formations. And then with our new chain of command, just zooming in on what we need to get done at AFTAC. And I'm very, very excited for the team. But I'm also getting excited because what I want to talk about this week is seizing the small opportunities. So I always, as I keep on growing in rank and responsibility, I take those responsibilities very seriously. I don't take myself seriously, but I've said this before, where I want to use my powers for good. And I do believe having actions and activities from an 06 do hit differently from an 05 to whoever happens to the other different ranks. And so I try and use my powers for good. So there have been some really cool small opportunities that I got to take advantage of, and hopefully share the positive kind of leadership image that I want to convey just through my small habits. So as usual, got 3 things I want to talk about. The first one was, and all of this is going to be based on connection. Okay, seizing the small opportunities, but then these are opportunities for connection. Okay, and then there's going to be 3 different kind of connections I'm talking about. So 3 stories really is how I'm going to tell this. So the first one, so within our formation, we have a comm squadron. And so I come to find out that there was one of our mission partners was having a really bad morning. And just he had to go back and forth to his car, kept on forgetting things, and then he unfortunately locked himself out of his account, and then he had to go downstairs to the customer service desk. He was there around like 7:29, and the first airman rolled up at 7:30. He's like, "Hey, sir, we'll be with you in a second," and getting his stuff situated, and then like the the member, because he actually came to tell me, he was like, I was not in a good mood, and I almost was ready to light up this airman, because if it says 7:30, you should be ready to go at 7:30, not hold on, give me a second at 7:30. And so he sits down, how can I help you, sir? And he's like, oh yeah, so I just I need my account unlocked. He's like, oh cool, just come follow me. I got you. And so I think normally there'd be some paperwork, or I'm sure the work order paperwork got taken care of. But he brought him in the back, and the airman in our comm squadron actually kind of noticed, I guess, how frustrated the person was, and he just started just having a general conversation. How's your day going? Or are you excited for football season coming up? Just started small talk. They both found out they are Chicago Bears fans, and so they kind of had a thing in common. And they just kind of talked about the general. Basically, that airman kind of understood the context of the situation and found a way to just find a common theme and bridge the gap of like, hey, so while we're doing all this piece, how's your day going? And then tried to help this person kind of overcome that frustrating morning. And so he did actually, the person got his account unlocked, and then he actually came up to me. He's like, hey, just want to let you know, this happened. And this person was an SES at the time as well. It is an SES in this story. So he was like, I was really impressed by this airman, because I was just having a bad day and I almost was going to unload on this airman. And it wasn't even his fault. I just knew that it was bubbling in me because I just having a bad morning. And he had the emotional intelligence to kind of recognize I was having a bad day and was able to just talk to me like a human being. We found some connection, and I actually felt a lot better when at the end of our conversation. I was like, oh, that's sweet. That's awesome, man. And so he was like, if I had my coin on him, I would have coined him right then and there. I was like, well, I can coin him right now. And so I went upstairs. We actually kept on missing each other on the floors. And eventually I caught up with him, and I went to go talk to him in front of the rest of his work center. And so kind of explain what I heard that SES retell me the story, what happened, and how impressed I was at this airman, and just kind of recognizing that when a teammate needed some help, he seized that small opportunity and did the right thing, in my opinion, and being able to just be a good teammate. And so I coined him on the spot, and then I was very, very happy to share those pieces. So again, that's human connect. I say that's a human connection, right? Just understanding people have bad days, and maybe you may not be able to, if you could recognize it in yourself, one, that self-awareness is awesome. But also two, when you know someone's kind of hurting and you need to help them out, and you have the opportunity to help them out, you never know how small a thing, just an easy conversation can go a long way to recorrect someone's day. Second story, as far as connection. So this is in the same day. We are getting ready for our second quarterly award ceremony, and this is my first one. And so, fun fact, I walked out to the Stone Cold Steve Austin entrance theme music. It was amazing. I may or may not walk out to Ric Flair at the next third quarter ceremony, because I get to do what I want. It's kind of fun. But the idea of they were asking me how I want to do it. I'm like, just a regular quarterly award ceremony. You don't have to do anything crazy. There's probably some script. You can look from the last one, just copy paste that one, and just edit it a little bit. And then I'll take a look at it if you don't mind. I'll cut out a couple things, and then we got it done. So apparently the squadron, when they did it, when they looked at the old script, they recognized an airman was actually listed in the script to receive a coin. And this was I think she's an A1C. And she was nominated because she was doing the work, first term airman. She was brand new out of tech school and had to run the whole front office for the squadron, and stepped up to the plate, and they really wanted to recognize her. And that's why she got nominated. But for whatever reason, she didn't get coined. Because then her SEL came to talk to me, and she's like, yeah, so this whole thing happened where the airman actually saw her name on this script, and she was supposed to get coined but didn't get coined. I was like, oh, okay. Is this a valid kind of thing? They're like, oh yeah, she's an amazing airman, and really stepped up when we needed her. I was like, all right, cool. Well, then I can coin her. And they're like, if you want to, sir. I'm like, yes, I will go get another one. So I grabbed another coin, went downstairs, and I was kind of gave the guys of like, how's the prep going? And they told me like, yeah, sir, we got this place. We got the music set up. It's in the auditorium. I'm like, all right, cool, good. And then I was like, so I heard that you guys were just literally using some of you copy pasted the old script, right? Yes, sir. Like, all right, cool. And then you may have noticed something. And then I looked at the airman. I'm like, did you notice something? She goes, yes, sir. I noticed that I was supposed to be coined, but I was there, and I definitely did not get coined. And I told her, I was like, well, what did you get coined for? She's like, I'm not sure. I was like, well, I heard is because you were actually doing a great job as a first-term airman and keeping this whole your whole squadron's front office together. And so I told her, I was like, well, I can't fix the past, but I can make it correct right now. So, job well done. And I coined her on the spot, and her face lit up. She's like, oh, sorry, that's awesome. I was like, no, you're awesome. This is something that should have happened. I don't know why it didn't happen, but I'm not really interested in that. I just want to say thank you, and looking forward to this next quarterly award ceremony. So just being able to connect on a celebration moment. And that's really the cool parts, if you get the privilege of serving in a command position, you get to often tell a lot of good news, and those moments are awesome. You're also responsible for telling bad news, and those are not awesome, but they're your responsibility. You have to make sure you're there for the team. And so doing those kind of pieces, I think, are going to be, I was very happy to just kind of in the same day was able to recognize some of our fantastic airmen out there, just being good teammates, kind of living through those leadership principles that I believe in. And so I was really happy to reward them. The third one, this was actually really funny. In my opinion, it was funny. So we did end up having to do I don't know if you were tracking, I don't think I talked on this podcast. So in ACC, we had to do some open ranks inspections. Well, we didn't open ranks inspections. We did uniform inspections just to make sure that we had serviceable service dress uniforms. In support group, we did end up doing service dress inspections, and all 4 squadrons, we did them in one shot after, I think it was right after 4th of July weekend is when we did it. And so we had to get all those things done. And so as people, were asking questions or trying to get clarification how to do this whole piece. And then I go back to my office, and there's a young captain in my office. And then he's like, hey, sir. I was like, hey, good morning. He's like, I heard you're looking for me. I was like, I don't know. What are we talking about? And then I was like, is it about Det 1 business? He's like, maybe. I was like, well, I just saw your boss like an hour ago. So I'm pretty sure if I needed something out of the team, I probably would have talked to him. And he's like, okay, I think I see what's happening. I'm like, what's up? And he goes, yeah, I think they're pranking me. I was like, oh, what? Are you new to the unit? He was like, well, I'm not new to AFTAC, but I'm new in Det 1. I PCA from a different squadron. I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, so the prank was the new group commander is looking for you. He's like, yes, sir. And I'm sorry for wasting your time. I was like, no. Well, who told you to come up here? And he's like, it was a bunch of civilians. I was like, oh, that's pretty fun. I like that whole thing. Oh, I like that prank. And I was like, well, wait, hold on a second. Actually, let's use this to our advantage. And I said, you should go back and be like, actually, yeah, Colonel Villa did want to talk to you about something. And then have them be like, well, what was it about? And I want you to tell them that I'm exploring the idea of also directing all retired civilians who are retired military service members for them to also show up in service dress, and they will be inspected. I just want to see how they're going to react. Just tell them that. He's like, oh, that's going to be, they're not going to like it. I'm like, of course you're not. And I'm not going to do it, but it'd be interesting. Let's just play it off. Let's continue this. If they're going to prank you, let's continue to doing the prank and see how they respond. Because it'd be curious to see all of a sudden if I start to hear some rumblings of civilians being pissed off about, first of all, you can't make me do that, Colonel Villa. I'd be like, okay, cool. I was just fucking with you, but it's really fun to see rumor mills just kind of go through organization. He did go tell that formation. I didn't hear any feedback all the way back up to me, but I'm curious to see. That connection was just a moment. It was a moment of like, oh, okay, well, you young captain, that sounds about right. You should be, it's in my opinion, a sign of a healthy organization when you get the new guy to go do funny things. I used to do that in restaurants, and it's a normal thing. I don't call it hazing. That isn't hazing. He wasn't doing anything crazy, illegal, immoral, or unethical. He just went to go visit the new boss, and then I wasn't going to dress him down or anything like that. But I can have fun in this moment. And so that was a good connection. And I actually found out he's a assistant coach at one of the local high schools, but not at the high school that my son's going to for soccer. And so that would have been interesting. I told him, if Benjamin makes your team, run him into the ground, because he is not conditioned at all. And so, but that opportunity has passed. So in any case, connection, seizing the small opportunities to just find connection, whether it be a moment of a human moment where you recognize someone's going through something bad and you're going to intervene and try and find out how you can help them recover. It could be a moment of celebration, be like, hey, so it may have gotten delayed, but it doesn't mean it went away. I'm going to try and do those and celebrate with you right now. And also just a moment of spontaneity and fun. I love those kind of environments. I'm probably to a fault. I love kind of taking advantage of having fun in certain things. I obviously have to keep my eye on the ball and make sure I'm not taking my eye off of work. But those small things, I think, really can combine a really good, strong team. So that's what I wanted to share about you this week. Seizing the small opportunities. You shouldn't need necessarily, you don't need a big catastrophic event to happen, or even just leadership to tell you that this is what you need to do. You need to be able to tune your sensors to be like, no, this is an opportunity where I can do something positive and spread some aloha in this world. So team, like I said, next week I should be back in my normal house because I'm actually not going TDY next week, but I'm looking forward to seeing everybody at Dafidic. I may or may not have some new merch, may or may not have some new stickers coming out, and I believe I'll have them ready. So if they're ready, you'll be the first one to hear it here, and it might just require a quick can't stop, won't stop, bam, hit you with a zap. And so looking forward to seeing my cyber teammates in a few weeks. So until then, team, take care of yourselves, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.